They said gray paved the way, changed the rain, release the pain, least you sane, getting paid, trend setting, brighter days, dope rap, tight as set, high and deadly, I'm a fighter jet, journey.
What's really good, ladies and gentlemen? It's the OG Boricua Dandada. I'm here with none other than Rob from MLW Confusion, Muffins Martinez. Before we talk any MLW, Rob, I have to talk to you first because there's video of you being chased out of, I think it's called RCW. It's your neck of the woods, independent wrestling, right?
SCW.
Let me correct myself. SCW, and one called Manders is chasing you out the building. Well, you're outside, but he's chasing you off the premises. Yeah,
that drunken cowboy was trying to start shit, man. I'm just trying to record some backstage MLW action, get some of the first news coming locally since I'm there, help sponsor that show, and that darn hillbilly just decided he needed some of this action.
But what action? You ran.
Well, yeah, I'm about to say you ran away, bro.
Obviously.
What
action? That man is a legit 6'1", 260, 270 pounds. Drunk as all get out by this point. He is a trained professional wrestler. And I don't have any of that training. I'm not a trained wrestler. I'm not trained in any MMA. I have no martial arts training whatsoever. You can say he's a terrible wrestler all day long, which he is. He can still, in a bar fight, probably take me. I'll be the first to admit it.
Well, I like Manders' pause. I think he's a good wrestler. Muffins, what's your take on obviously our homie who had some choice words for Manders, and then when Manders pulled up,
all I saw was me watching the Coyote and Roadrunner. The Roadrunner is very K here because Rob K just ran. All you saw was the dust behind him.
He pulled the fume.
That was total embarrassment right there. I'm like, what the hell, oh, Lord?
Well, I mean, he did say that he had some shots in him, so he was coming for some real beef.
Yeah, Rob K just ran out of there quick. He said, I don't want this problem.
Dude came at me, bro. I am a wrestling journalist. I'm not out of the ring. Dude's coming. I am just giving out my journalistic rights. That's guaranteed here in America. Last I knew. And then some drunken cowboy just decides he can't handle the truth on a show that I paid money so it could happen. It wasn't just me buying a ticket. It was my hard-earned cash that got that show where it was. And what do I get out of it? I get accosted by a cowboy because he just can't handle people's opinions, man. No, he didn't even win that night. So I don't even know why he's coming at me. He lost his match. He lost to Dion Roosman.
The bad thing is that you say he can't handle the truth. He just can't handle stepping up while you tell him the truth. He just ran. It's a big difference. Big difference when you can stand your ground. You have the right to stand your ground.
I'm not standing my ground for long if he throws me over his head.
I think Rob's standpoint is he's kind of like the Stephen A. Smith of wrestling. And he just has the professional opinion. It's not like, he's trying to violate nobody or fight nobody.
Yeah, I didn't step to him. I stayed. Yeah. I even stayed in my seat that entire match. I didn't even get up to clap for Roosman. I didn't get up to boo Manders. Nothing. I stayed in my seat.
You did the professional thing as a professional journalist and watch the fight for as is.
Exactly.
I think
I went to report on it, he came at me.
Like, the proof is there. The video's there. We might have to put it on the channel because I'm just saying that it is what it is.
Yeah.
So
it's up. The video's public. And nobody, not SCW, not MLW, has said anything about it.
SCW ain't saying nothing?
No.
Wow.
Man's a menace. Came after a journalist and nothing.
All right.
Well, it's so bad. It's so bad that Rob K calls himself a journalist because ain't no journalist here. I don't know. Me and Chef, we no journalists. We're here.
I am a podcaster that reports on wrestling. I have a notebook, for God's sake.
Oh,
Yep,
Lord.
that I told you. Rob
have
K
the-
takes it serious.
You have a list?
He had, I guess. Listen. So before we get Rob K in trouble with MLW or
Yeah.
SCW,
And all the W's out there.
I'm going to
All
get
the
a new
Ws.
podcast. I can't go to the N.W.A because, according to Billy Pumpkins, I'm not a real fan of wrestling.
Oh.
So,
Oh.
whoa,
Wow.
Wait, what? All right, let's get a quick little rundown on why ain't you a fan?
you didn't know that? Like, that's the thing that's going around right now. Billy Pumpkins, owner of the N.W.A, basically said on an interview that if you don't like Tyrus, you don't like wrestling.
Oh, well then we don't like wrestling. None of us
Yeah,
like wrestling.
I feel like as many people that actually watch the N.W.A, I think a lot of folks don't like wrestling.
I'm good with that because I don't think anyone here is going to defend Tyrus of all people. So, like, I was like, do we start this in order or do we take things and then we start in order? So what? I'll talk little bits here and there.
The show
start-
sucked.
What?
That's my opinion right there.
Last night?
Yes.
Really?
Oh, get the fuck out of here.
Dude, it had nothing to do with any MLW wrestlers except for two. That's it. One
All right,
match.
well, hold on.
One match. No one
Hold
knew
on,
who
wait,
they
wait,
were.
wait,
If you
wait.
don't follow wrestling, you won't know who they are, and what title they had around their waists. And the main event only had two MLW guys.
Two
Hold
current
on.
MLW guys.
Huh?
Like almost two current MLW guys.
Yeah, two
almost
current guys.
almost everybody on that show has made appearances like post pandemic with MLW.
Yeah, here and there. Yeah, but
Yeah.
if you don't watch the show, I mean, last time Mecha Wolf was there or Damien 6 was years ago. You know, la rebelión. So Hijo del Vikingo, last time I saw him was in Impact Wrestling.
Oh
Well,
yeah,
actually-
he's
Actually,
No.
AEW.
We seen him
AEW.
the last time when Azteca Underground went to Mexico.
Oh, last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's right. But
No, I
recently, AEW now.
I mean, if you pay attention to wrestling, like you know most of the folks. They may not be regulars of the MLW roster. I mean, because obviously, Vikingo has been on AEW and Impact. Taurus is a member of Decay and Impact.
Impact.
You know, and also in the main event, we also had Gringo Loco, who used to be a regular member of the MLW roster as well.
But if you haven't watched them in like the last 2 or 3 years, you wouldn't know who
Hold on,
half of
hold
those
on.
guys were.
All right. You're
Well,
coming.
that's
in
wrestling.
way
You know,
hotter than-
nobody knows anybody.
You're coming in way hotter than I thought. But hold on, listen.
But
Show
you said you're
starts
coming in
off
hot.
with
I'm
the
coming in hot.
All right. I'm just saying.
This is
I'm
a scorching.
already, like,
We've
bring
been
that-
lame
you
the
got
last
that
handful of
energy?
weeks,
Let's bring that
and
energy.
now we're going to kill each other. It's
Yeah,
finally
I
on.
really enjoyed last night. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I did too.
This shit starts off. You got SGC in some hotel room. You know, they're getting woke up. Yo, we gotta bounce. Out of nowhere, you get Micro. Now, I'm gonna tell you, this is the first time I've enjoyed anything Micro Man. Pause, right? Like, so Micro Man comes out from some little corner. He's got like this big ass bra on his head, and you know, obviously, you know, he's being told, you know, that's a big bra. You know, obviously, you know, titties look bigger on his head because he's a little guy. But Micro Man obviously got some big booby action, and while chilling, getting drunk and twisted with SGC. So I think Rob might have been on point with this first because he kind of said, yo, it'd be kind of cool. Now, I won't say the other stuff. It'd be kind of cool if Micro Man was at SGC. So let's talk this little segment because I found this really funny. I like all parts of this little spot, and I thought it was a great way to start a show. Gentlemen, SGC, Micro Man twisted in a corner.
Well, they laid some of the seeds last week with MSL not wanting the second gear crew anywhere near Microman. And again, I will also pivot that with on that front. I agree with Mr. Saint Laurent just because Manders is involved and that man's a menace. That being said, wow. I am totally down. I'm totally down with Microman joining SCG because. Again, if you get outside the MLW bubble, like there are a handful of non-cowboy folk that are peripheral members of the second gear crew, most notably Effie and Alley Catch as well. So Microman would can fit it in this little circus. I know my recommendation on the social medias is to replace Manders with Microman and create a new second gear crew, which would be a license to print money, little tiny money, of course.
Muffin, you see the hate here is serious.
Dude, I hated this thing because of the simple reason we only had 2 matches in the whole damn show with a bunch of just nonsense in between, just nonsense after nonsense.
But the nonsense made sense. The nonsense made sense.
Yeah, you're saying most of the nonsense actually helped progress some storylines.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, the second gear crew was a little bit more fluff, unless they're going to pay off later on the line. But I mean, Jacob Fatu had an interview which he helped put over his feud with the Calling, and even called back to the Contra unit. So he noted that's still.
I'm glad you bring that up.
Still in his blood, man.
He said it's not gone. Like, he kind of referenced Contra unit's still here. That shit bumps through me. You know what I mean? Like, and Contra unit is the greatest faction in MLW history.
In an hour show, I won 3 matches in an hour show, not 2, and a bunch of.
All right, hold on.
I mean, I don't disagree on that front. Another match would have been nice. I will give you that, but it didn't ruin the show. Only have 2.
No, it did not. But it was like that. Then a match. Then more nonsense in between. More nonsense, and match. I'm thinking there's too much nonsense in between matches.
All right. So let's transition. So Taya Valkyrie gets the match called off for tonight, right?
No, there's nonsense.
Can you slow the fuck down, bro? Shit, we gotta somehow get through this. So Taya gets it called off. We get an interview with Del Miexo. Now, Del Miexo said something that we said that made me sit back and go, man, thank fucking God she said it, because that's how we all felt. She said MLW needs a women's champion who wants to be and shows the belt off. Like, a lot of the times we've been saying that, and I like that because it felt like a dig at her. You know what I mean? It felt like a shot. And yeah, it's been called off. It's now going to be in my home, New York City, the greatest city anywhere in the world. Biggest fight fields ever. Like, you got to think, when you think of New York, it's money-making Manhattan. That's where everything goes through. The greatest rappers of all time come from Queens. All the legends of hip-hop started in the Bronx with the breakdancing and the B-boys and everything else. New York is the mecca of everything in the United States, right? So the biggest women's champion in MLW has to be in the mecca of everything, which is New York City.
Two things about this here. One, at least we know the match is going to happen in 2 weeks from now.
Allegedly. We're supposed to have the match last night, too.
Allegedly.
So in 2 weeks from now, which means we'll get one more tapings from Mexico next week. And then after that, hopefully hit the upstate stuff. 2, you know how I feel about New York. There's a meteor coming. They have 2 weeks to get everybody out of New York, and just poof, meteor hits, destroy the whole New York, and then they start fresh and build a brand new, better New York.
I think we lost. Oh, he's back. Okay,
He's there.
It exploded. It was like
he's
hit
there.
His head, and it's gone.
He
now.
knows I dislike New York. Biggest dump next to New Jersey in the whole United States is New York and Jersey.
But listen, what's the song say? If I can make it here, I can make it anywhere, right? That's shit that's instilled. Bro,
well,
the
the counter argument to that is if it plays in Peoria, it'll play in the world. So
there you go.
Ain't nobody listen to that shit.
Hey, he has a point.
Okay. All right. All right. So let me finish with Taya. We'll get Taya completely done, and we'll go through everything else, right? So the next segment that has Taya in it has Willie Mack, has SST. You know, they're sitting around. Willie Mack is trying to sell allegedly stolen goods, right? Like, but it ties into how allegedly SST is, because remember they supposedly took some stuff from El Jefe too. Now, Willie Mack kind of sputters out some shit about I have information on El Jefe where he is. Now I'm like, they keep planting the seed, right? Something has to come out of this, or it'll be the stupidest waste of time. So if you listen to what Taya says, after Willie Mack says, if you give me a title shot, I'll give you the information. She tells her hubby, don't do it. What kind of homie are you to not get the information, right? Like, so now I'm super anti-Taya, because if I'm locked in a way somewhere and you could come get me and you're like, no, I don't want to give up a fancy, cool little belt, don't do it, you're a fucked up homie, right? Like, so not feeling this. And gentlemen, talk to me about this segment. Did you hate, matter of fact, hold on, Rob, did you hate this too?
No, I was gonna say I'm kind of surprised of a couple of weeks ago we had SST fighting in the back with the FBI.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden now they're gonna give the calling a tag team championship match at the pay-per-view. I'm going like, what happened? Like, how come the FBI got jumped over, you know, the calling got them now, and they gave us this nice little sweet little taste of brutality in the back, and we got excited. Oh, the FBI is getting a chance out of the tag team title, and now they're just like, what happened? Like, that's my only beef for that.
Well, it's because the FBI haven't won any matches. Why do they get a title shot?
Well, just because like they were fighting in the back, so I figured they would have pushed a little mini feud going forward here in the States, and then give them the title match at the pay-per-view. But
yeah,
so I get that storyline wise.
I think storyline wise, with them beating up Jacob Fatu, they want to get revenge, kind of thing.
Okay, but revenge is one thing. Why are you putting the tag titles for?
No, because that's what the boss wants. Yo, Rob, please talk to me about this segment and not what did not happen later.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, I didn't hate the segment. I thought it was interesting that Willie Mack of all folk would just like randomly now have information, and I honestly think he was just talking out his ass just to get a title shot. Like, I mean, the champions are now barking at you. You might as well spin it to get your stuff. I mean, I'm assuming El Jefe's office is just like still just sitting there. Like anyone can just like walk in and nab stuff, even though he's been kidnapped. You know, the kidnapping didn't happen in his office. So I'm interested. I am interested to see where this goes. But like, part of me just like, dude's just hustling. Like he's hustling to get some cash at the merch table. Now he's hustling to get some gold around his waist. We'll find out if it's effective, because I think that match is next week.
I'm good with that. So first match we'll talk about is Mini Abismo Negro Jr., which we've seen off and on.
This was full size. This one was not mini.
You're right. So it's Abismo Negro Jr.
Yeah, I had to clarify that in my notes like repeatedly.
And then Black Taurus, whatever you want to call them. Before we even go into this, now I got a question, because you guys are more wrestling fans than I am. How the hell does that mask stay on? Right? Like, that mask does not move ever.
Taurus defies like all logic for me. That mask, like, I don't know how he does anything in that mask just to begin with, because that is a very elaborate, well done mask. And two, dude moves like I don't know how a man that size does the stuff that he does. I mean, and that was like the first minute of the match. You saw him doing like the classic lucha flips and rolls like right away, and dude's pushing 3 bills. And so like everything about Black Taurus just boggles the mind. How does the mask work? I don't know. How does he flip? I don't know, but I'm here for it.
So
what I like
got them versus the end. Huh?
Yeah, what I like about that was La Rebellion, which they're the N.W.A current tag team champions. Get to be in an MLW show. Hey, why not?
I like the fact that they came out with the belts, the N.W.A tag belts. That I thought was cool.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, oh, that's kind of weird, LW tag team titles in Mexico, but they wrestle for N.W.A, and this is the MLW show episode. I mean, okay, whatever. That's kind of cool.
I mean, Cortez
like I said,
very much, promoting his talent agreements and partnerships. So that one didn't bother me quite so much.
Do they even have a partnership between MLW and N.W.A?
No, but
it shows good like whatever they should.
I mean, but both members of La yeah, and both members of La Rebellion will have MLW ties, more so Bestia more so than Mecha Wolf, and both are still big deals down in Mexico as well. So I feel this is more of an exhibition for Lucha Libre than it will have anything to do with MLW. Yes, like it does. You can raise some eyebrows about them bringing out the championships, which is fair. But since this wasn't purely an MLW show, I don't know how much control over that they had either. Like,
I love the match.
Yeah, but
it was a good match. So
that was a phenomenal match, and the last 3-4 minutes of that match was chaotic. That was freaking awesome. I love this entire thing. I know, Rob, you wrote some notes. I know you really want to go in. So whatever you want to talk about on this, go ahead, and then we'll kind of chime in.
No, I was a big fan of the match. I mean, both matches. I'm a fan of some of the chaos that Lucha Libre brings, especially in tag team and other variations of the multi-person match, especially with the lucha tag rules, where someone goes to the floor, that's a tag, come in and start over. And and obviously all four guys know this style and have made the most of it. La Rebellion has some nifty tandem maneuvers. Of course, they're a regular tag team. I can't say the same for Taurus and Abismo Negro Jr. That's just ignorance on my part. Maybe they're thrown together, maybe they're not. But it was if you like Lucha Libre, it had everything that you pretty much wanted. It was fast paced action with dudes that can flip, flop, and fly. They went outside for some brawling too. It had a little bit of everything, and I'm for it.
Muffins.
Oh, I love the match.
That's your take? You just love the match?
I love the match. The four guys did their job. And of course, Mecha Wolf, Puerto Rican. So I love the match.
Wow. Hey. I didn't even know he was Puerto Rican.
Huh?
I didn't even know he was Puerto Rican.
Yeah, I think he got his start in Puerto Rico and then came up to Chicago.
He's Puerto Rican, yeah. Every time they have him in the NW show, he's always complaining about how come they have the Puerto Rican flag in the Raptors.
That's right. I remember him saying that.
How he couldn't find Bill Corgan to put the flag up there because they never have it.
All right. So I know it's a tidbit that don't matter, but it's a poll that MLW put out. Should Becca sing live? And I like Becca. And hell, right? That's what I was saying. Like, let this girl do her thing because she is freaking amazing.
Yeah, bro, give her the chance to sing in front of a live audience. It's a pay-per-view, first one in like 2 or 3 years. The crowd is going to be hot. So it's a good chance for her to come out there and sing her ass off and, go into Spotify, download her song.
Yeah. No, exactly. And she's one specifically who, if you give her actual camera time, she's going to shine. So, a lot of guys that MLW bring in, I mean, for the most part, do their talking in the ring. Yeah, and putting on great matches, but I'm going to throw Willie Mack under the bus on this. He's not always so great on the microphone. Davey Richards, when he was in, he's not much of a talker. But Becca, you can just throw the camera on it and she will chew all the scenery and it will be amazing. And you will love her or hate her, love to hate her. But, I'm willing to spend money, either direction on her. So this, I think, again, and I said, I was last week or 2 weeks ago, I said, I think if they don't lock her down, 2024, she's going to explode.
No, I can see that. She's killing it. Before we go into main event, I want to talk some Bomaye Fight Club. Obviously, we had a little, we had the interview with Sam Leterna, Mr. Thomas, and she did the whole Bomaye, and they said say it louder. I thought that was super cool. But if you listen to what he said they're finally, at the pay-per-view, they're gonna show who is funding Bomaye, and he used the words cash flow. Now, a long time ago, I thought it was cash flow that came in for the one time we seen him with Tristan Tai, Ikuro Kwon in MLW, and they had a great match. And I was like, yo, it'll be perfect because his gimmick is money, right? Like, so if he's funding Bomaye,
that's Ken Broadway, right?
Huh?
Ken Broadway?
Ken Broadway.
Yeah. The casual guy. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I know in Hog he's cash flow.
Ken Broadway.
So Ken Broadway, if he's that guy, I'm not saying he easily replaces Myron Reed, but it brings validation once again to Bomaye Fight Club to actually be a crew instead of more like Alex Kane with Mr. Thomas. It gives more options with a guy like that, and he can. I mean, I love Ken Broadway. Pause. I think it's a great wrestler. Gentlemen, that little spot. What y'all think? July 8th. We've been talking about it for a while, but real quickly, speak to me on this promo and Sam Leterna and everything else.
Yeah, this definitely brings a different angle into what we talked about. We've not talked about the benefactor because they've really, it's been a non-factor up to this point. Like, they would just bring it up that, oh, Bomaye, where's the money from these, Philly fights coming from? And then they just kind of, let it go. And, when you start talking about people and money gimmicks with MLW ties, Ken Broadway's a good point in there, too. But I'm curious, though, I don't know. I like the big fight feel of Alex Kane and an entourage brings. I'm not sure if having an actual real stable benefits the Bomayes overall. I didn't think Myron Reed fit in with the Bomayes at all. Outside of being kind of he seemed like a total second fiddle. He just kind of Bomaye, and that was it. Hot Fire is kind of fire on the mic, and he basically just stood in the background, let Alex Kane spit his rhymes, and then yelled Bomaye at the end of it all. And then would come out and have having a great Myron Reed match. So I thought he was kind of wasted with the Bomaye.
Was that the reason, or did we know because obviously Myron Reed left very shortly after joining, and he kind of was just
I mean, that's fair too. I'm trying to keep it, at least what we're overall seeing. So but I feel my personal feeling is that I think the Bomaye Fight Club works well, like an MMA camp. I think it works better that way. And yes, Mr. Thomas is a wrestler, but we've barely seen him actively in the ring. And I definitely think for the way the way they're trying to spotlight Alex Kane, he really just needs to be the only named person really in that group, so that way the spotlight can be on him. Yes, it adds more storyline options to have another worker in there, and so I'm even I'm kind of hoping I don't have any names. I can't even speculate because there's not been enough hints dropped, but I'm kind of hoping the mysterious benefactor is pretty much either A, remains completely off screen and they just kind of is kind of just a swerve bro, or that that person is strictly a money person and occasionally just makes rando appearances, but still allows basically the entire spotlight to be on Kane.
Muffins, talk to me. I want to ask you. I want to ask you if you think that King Mo might actually be making a return, if that might be a thing.
It's funny because King Mo brought Alex Kane into MLW, whatever they have put them together. So there was something there for a while, the first year before King Mo left. I mean, if it's him, that's fine, that's cool. I hope it's Ken Broadway because it's another wrestler who is actually wrestling and not just in the MMA alone, like King Mo's been doing, for the last 2 years now. So, and I also like how MLW is finally pushing Kane to be that guy, man. He's getting a lot of talking every week, and fans are beginning to get behind him more. So that's gonna be awesome there on a live crowd pay-per-view. people are gonna be crazy. Bomaye. That shit is gonna go up the roof, man. When that happens.
No,
Hopefully, I'm just screaming Bomaye too. With a shirt, Bomaye is for the kids. Or Oprah Winfrey holding the Opera Cup.
All right. Main event, right? Now, I wrote this down because there's a lot of names involved here. So I was like, let me write this down. Sam Adonis, John Hennigan, Gringo Loco versus Hijo del Vikingo, Ray Horus, and Psycho Clown, right? So, one, that black mask that Ray Horus took off that had like the little spike things that look like Darth Maul, fucking fire, right? Like that was straight fire. I did have a beef with this match, not for anything in the ring, but how disrespectful the crowd was, right? Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you. This shit kind of annoyed the fuck out of me because when John Hennigan was walking down, one of those two little kids tried to trip him. When John Hennigan turned around, these little kids are flipping him the finger, right? Like, it's like, you know, you want to like do a little touch or whatever, go ahead. Don't try to trip this man. Like, you know, all the beer that was thrown on these guys. Now, I get it. Sam Adonis is arguably the most hated guy in Mexico. That's what I keep seeing on social media, right? But John Hennigan didn't even fuck with nobody, and he was getting the beer treatment like hardcore. And you even heard the, I guess one of the people there telling people, yo, chill out, you know, stop throwing the beer on the wrestlers, you know, this and that. It took away from me from the match because I kind of got really annoyed with it. But phenomenal match. I know you guys want to break this down. It's hard for me to process this match because of how annoyed I was from these fucking asshole fans. So, gentlemen, the only thing I'm gonna say is the Luchador guys won, and I disagreed with that because Sam Adonis, I think Rob said it last week. He's the heel MLW needs, right? Like where Kane, people love him. So I'll leave that in a minute. Kane he's a great heel, but people like him. Sam Adonis is a heel that people hate him. You know, like, so I agree with Rob. I would like to see more Sam Adonis being a solo act. I think Rob said that last week as well, is that he has all the makings of being an it guy. Gentlemen, talk to me about this main event. I'm ready to listen.
Well, next to Sam Adonis, Jeff Jarrett is the most hated gringo in Mexico. Well, let's just get that shit out of there because that's crazy. Every time we used to go out and throw tortillas into their cloud and shit. I still can't forget that out of my head when he did that.
Let me cut you off because the dirt sheet didn't report it, but wait till you see what Alex Kane does.
Yeah, so that was crazy. But the only reason why I enjoyed this match was because El Hijo de Vikingo is there. He's still doing phenomenal stuff. Now I get to see him live more on AEW because they keep bringing him more now. But he's going to have to slow down before he breaks his body and can make, put more food on the table. And even Conan and some other guys, Rey Mysterio, saying the same thing, that he has to slow down with all these flips and all that kind of shit that he's doing before he definitely gets hurt, and then ain't nobody going to have his back. So, other than that, I mean, I love it.
He even jumped and stood on Homeboy's shoulders.
Yeah.
Like his feet were here. You know what I'm saying? Like, he does the most outlandish, crazy shit. And you're one oops away from that stat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, I think he's 27 now, going for 28, if that.
He's still young.
Yeah, a lot of people, we have your back, but once you break something and you're out for a year, they don't have your back. He's going to have to slow down and take less bumps on those flippy shit that he's been doing, but it's crazy to see him do it.
Rob, talk to me.
I will start off with this match was a car crash in the best way possible. Like, there are just bodies everywhere, all sorts of plunder. Like, it was great. I do want to echo your point on, the crowd. Like, that, I didn't take me out as much as you did, just because I really tried to, we'll say, be mindful of the cultural differences between us and the Mexican wrestling crowds. It's still real to them for the most part. And they give no fucks just in general. Like, we can say whatever they want, we can say, we can try to sugarcoat it, but really, like, they're going to do.
But here's my thing.
But that they still like cross the line, like, regardless.
If you did that shit to the wrong person, like, say Muffins, real shit. Like, and I'm gonna say Slice Boogie because he's from where I'm from.
Sure.
If you OD on Slice Boogie, he turns around and knocks you the fuck out. Everyone's gonna say, "Yo, this guy don't know how to act. He got no respect. The fans are just being fans." But if you disrespecting him, like,
you don't cross you don't cross the barricade. Like, that's. I mean, granted, the crowd technically didn't either. But still, yeah, it was very disrespectful. And like, it wasn't just a beer that Hennigan got. Like, he got a bunch. Like, it's been a while since I've seen someone get that much liquid poured on him, and we're just assuming this is adult beverages and not bodily fluids or anything else.
Oh, no, I'm killing you. No, put me in jail because if you throw piss on me,
and that's not unheard of, especially in like Puerto Rico and Mexico. Whoa.
Puerto Rico don't do that shit. I don't know about Mexico, but Puerto Rico does not do that shit.
Really? Because I've heard it come out of Puerto Rico more than I have Mexico.
Don't do that shit. We don't throw people about it. We throw a lot of shit, but we don't throw people. I don't know what they do in Mexico, but we don't do that shit in Puerto Rico.
This man Hori shut that shit down quick.
Well, hold on. I don't know about that now. Messing with the wrong people now, brother. You messing with the wrong people now.
I'll get the Brody treatment. It'll be great. The wife will get an insurance payout. It'll be great. Was that too soon? But anyway, yeah. So yeah, the crowd kind of did take me aback a little bit, especially because like it went over the PA. And I mean, granted, my Spanish isn't great, so I'm just going to go along with what the commentary implied, that it was to stop doing that. Yeah. And I will note that the worst thing about professional wrestling is the fans. Just throwing it out there. Nothing kills professional wrestling more than the people who claim to enjoy it. Yep. But going to the match itself, like, I loved it. Like, it like I said, the first match had like everything I loved. Like, really, the main event had everything I loved, because at least the main event had real weapons, and I'm all for the hardcore stuff as well. And so you had, and really the Technico team like had it all anyway with Horus and Vikingo. Like, those are two of the best high flyers around today. And then Psycho Clown like is not known so much for his flying so much as his wild brawls. And he's no Pagano, but like he still holds his own in a brawl. And really, like, not a whole lot of this match took place in the ring anyway. Like, and and even when it did, like, they were still brawling outside. So it wasn't even like tag rules. Like, it was just a brawl, and they just happened to take turns wandering into the ring doing stuff. I will say, like, I was impressed how well Hennigan, Adonis, and Gringo Loco worked together. Like, they were doing a lot of tandem stuff. And again, I'm not sure, I don't know how much they worked together in the past in terms of, in ring, but like the three of them, like, had some pretty good chemistry involved. But yeah, as a whole, like, the entire match was great. Like, even the referee was getting in on the action too. We had a pure Rudo referee getting stomps in, corner splash, and then of course he got his comeuppance towards the end, getting the belt taken to him. Which I'm kind of surprised that. I mean, okay, this is American wrestling brain talking about. Kind of surprised that they didn't like do something a bit more about that. Like I mean, even our crooked refs would like DQ you if you laid a hand on them, no matter how much they deserved it. But that's American wrestling brain talking right there.
I don't remember a referee stomping anybody out like that I've seen. Like,
well, he does that. That's el hijo del tirante. He's the main heel ref.
Oh, that's a normal thing.
That's a normal thing.
Oh, that was Conte's. I thought he had a ponytail.
No, he got that off a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
He's been doing that shit for like, I want to say, going on 15, 20 years.
Well, and I know, Lucha Libre's referees do fall into the Technico Rudo classifications as well.
He's the rude one.
Which that took me forever to get used to. And ironically enough, AAA Wrestling Hero Style Ring was the one that really taught me about it. So a wrestling video game taught me Lucha Libre culture like 15 years ago, even though I'd been watching variations of Lucha Libre for at least 10 years prior to that. But mostly American Lucha Libre. But yeah, great. Really to get back on track. It was a great match. A little bit of everything. Yeah, I did think, for an MLW show, I think the MLW guys should have come out on top. I'm not going to lie. But part of me also worries that if they were willing to pour every drink in the arena on John Hennigan, they might have legit rioted. And that was cool 30 years ago. But we can't be having that kind of heat nowadays too. But I will also qualify with maybe the Rudo should have won just to keep MLW looking strong. But really, Morrison doesn't need a win, especially with this character. When he's a bad guy, Morrison doesn't really need a win. He's a weasel. Sam Adonis is the biggest weasel you can get right now. And when was the last time Gringo Loco won in an MLW ring?
A hot minute ago.
It's been a while.
All right. So listen, you can find. I'm going to cut this off. I want to do one more. I know Muffins don't want to do it, but we'll do it real fast. You can find Rob K, MLW Confusion on all podcast apps everywhere. I think that's how you say it, right?
Pretty
every
much.
kind of
anywhere you can find your podcasts.
Obviously, you're watching me here. This is what we do. We do YouTube. Muffins is the biggest hater and complains, and he wants to call me the biggest diva. So I might have to play into that real soon and start acting real fucking diva-ish. One more topic, Muffins. I know you don't want to do it. We'll get it done quick. So let's get it popping. Ladies and gentlemen, we're out of here. Deuces.